Welcome all members. From my side, myself Namaskar Mandal from Management System Consultancy. In today's topic, we will discuss upon personal protection and first aid. So, after going through this session, हम क्या क्या डिस्कशन करें, स्पेशल टॉपिक क्या होगा वो हम लोग जस्ट एक ओवरव्यू देख लेते हैं. एक्सप्लेन बेसिस ऑफ पर्सनल प्रोटेक्शन, explain its importance, explain first aid in its method. Teaching point, concept of personal protection, different types of personal protection equipments, and what is first aid and its importance. This is basically the today's topic-wise discussion. Now, protective equipment. Personal protection, which is of vital importance in industrial operation, can be in three ways. Safe practices to be followed, protective devices to be used, protective devices to be owned. So safe practice follow करना है, सही चीज प्रोटेक्टिव डिवाइस यूज करना है, प्रोटेक्टिव डिवाइस ही पहनना है. दिस इज द प्रोटेक्टिव इक्विपमेंट का theory. Now, in introduction, the subject of safe practices is detailed elaborated in the Factories Act 1948, and their proper adherence is depend on proper use of safety devices against injury to head, eye, ear, lung, and full body. Personal protective equipment, PPE, is legally defined as all equipment, including clothing, affording protection against the weather, which is intended to be owned or held by a person at work and which protects the user against one or more risks to their health or safety. Now, coming to directly the head injuries. As a protection against injuries to the head from falling or flying objects, safety hard hats have been developed and proven under severe tests that when properly fitted, they can and will provide the protection expected from them. But इसका भी जानकारी से ये है कि when they properly fitted, इसको पहनना भी सही तरह से जरूरी है. सेफ्टी हेलमेट पहनता है लेकिन उसका बेल्ट कोई पहनता नहीं है. That is not considered. So that is the condition, head injuries. Now, continue to head injuries. Rubberized head. Head protection should be such that it is properly fitted to the individual so as to be comfortable. सही तरह से पहनना, that is fit करना, that is जरूरी है. And be able to provide necessary protection is called upon. Further, a systematic method should be set up in the plant to ensure that the protection provides is not only owned, but that is kept in good condition and replaced when necessary. Now, eye and face protection. उसको लेके क्या है? 90% of all eye injuries can be prevented by suitable eye protection. Eye protection लेने से हम लोग 90% हम लोग इंजरी को प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं. The classification of eye hazards, goggles can be grouped into 5 classes according to the hazards they are to guard against. इस टाइप का है 5 types of classification है जो goggles का. किस टाइप का जो hazard को according to hazards impact को जो प्रतिरोध कर सकता है, dust rotation, splashes, fumes or gases, glare and injurious light rays. So these were 5 type of goggles का classification किया गया. Now for protection against impact, अभी one by one हम देख लेते हैं. Lenses should be preferably be case hardened with clear glass and fitted in a frame that will withstand hard use. One designed so that the lens will not forced out of its rim by a blow. And if the impact is so severe that the lens is broken, that is, large fragments are detonate and the small particles are not projected back into the eye. Spectacles with or without shield, the shield होते सामने, and eye cup goggles when provided with case-hardened lenses are protection against impact. Well, spectacles type goggles with outside shields are often used when the nature of the work is such that protection against flying objects directly in front of the wearing is desired. However, if the flying object is likely to come from the side से अगर आता है तो, then either spectacles type goggles with side shield or better steel eye cup goggles should be used. Okay. Now next one. Yes, the protection against dust goggles. For protection against dust should be enclosed the eye completely. Whether the ventilation should be through minute holes or through bucket slots depends on the quality of the dust, the size of the particles, and the manner in which the dust is circulated. The goggle should be fitted with wire glass lenses and an impact resisting quality. Now the next one. For protection against flashes, there are 2 types of flashes which must be considered. First, those from liquids such as acids, alkalis. Second, those from molten metals. The first condition, namely to include liquid, it is an absolute necessary that the goggles be such that the eye cup makes a perfect fit to the face and wearer and should be of a material that is impervious to chemicals and also provides a light fitting joint between lens and the retaining ring. The goggles should be properly ventilated. But in case of molten metal, it is essential that the goggles be provided with adequate ventilations as much as possible to prevent fogging. The eye cup should be of non-flammable material and extra care be taken in fitting these to wearer so that the protection built into the goggles will really be provided to the wearer. For some operations under the heading such as the pouring of gels, protection must also be provided for the heads and neck of the wearer. And under such condition, a complete face mask should be provided. Now, for protection against fumes and gases, the goggles for this class of work must not contain hoods for ventilation, otherwise the protection required will not be available. Protection against glare or injurious light rays, the type of protection to be used will depend entirely on the amount and nature of work to be done and may vary from spectacles or goggles to helmets, hand shields, or masks fitted with suitable lenses. Some examples are there, class-wise, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6, as I have discussed. Yes. Now, to select the proper protectors, follow the recommendation in the table below, कुछ हम लोग कैटेगरी वाइज दिखाए हैं हम लोग फॉर योर इन्फॉर्मेशन. आप बाद में इसको पॉज करके भी सही तरीके से देख सकते हो. In case of heat, sparks and flash from molten metals, उसको लेके किस हिसाब से हम लोग क्या क्या करेंगे एंड क्या क्या प्रोबेबिलिटी है एंड क्या क्या यूज करेंगे, which classes इस टाइप का क्या यूज करेंगे PPEs. So in such a way हम लोग कैटेगराइज किया है. एसिड फ्लैश, केमिकल बॉन्ड्स, माने कहाँ पे नेचर क्या है से यहाँ पे एक देखते हैं हम लोग. एसिड फ्लैश, केमिकल बॉन्ड्स, एसिड एंड एल्कली हैंडलिंग, डिग्रीजिंग, पिकलिंग एंड प्लेटिंग ऑपरेशन, ग्लास बड़े केस, केमिकल स्प्रे, लिक्विड विटामिन हैंडलिंग, किस टाइप का यूज करना होगा इस इन केस ऑफ सच टाइप ऑफ ऑपरेशन. क्लास 2B गॉगल्स, क्लास 5B बोर्ड्स, क्लास 6A फेशियल्स, ये हम लोग को यूज करना होगा. ओके, इन सच ए वे ये भी है. ये आप लोग फॉर मोर इंफॉर्मेशन आप लोग इसको पॉज करके इलाबोरेटली देख सकते हैं. Now, hearing protection. Assessment carried out under the control of noise at work regulation 2005 will determine whether personal ear protectors are required in the workspace or not, and the nose authentication required. The relevant standard for ear protector is BSEN 352 Part 1. In providing hearing protection, employees should select protectors which is suitable for working environment and should consider how comfortable and hygiene they are. Like other PPE, hearing protector will not need to be comfortable with other PPE, hand hats, dust masks, eye protection owned by the workers. Further, hearing protection, employees may also wish to provide a range of protectors to allow employees to choose one which is suited to them. Please note that the theoretical authentication is rarely achieved and it is therefore necessary to over-specify the protection. When selecting hearing protection, use the detailed noise assessment to determine the authentication. Record in high, medium, and low frequencies and match these against suitable products. आपका assessment करके ही charge करना है. That is the thing. Bear in mind that where earplugs are used, cleaning will be needed to ensure that they are used correctly. Where ear defenders are used, it should be ensured that the users do not use musical headphones or buds simultaneously. For high noise environments, it may be appropriate to specify both plugs and defenders. A sample of some ear protection equipments or PPs for your information. Now, lung protection. Lung protection is the best achieved by removal of dust or fumes at their point of origin by adjust Yes. Lung protection. The respirators are tested for suitably for materials, design construction, resistance to flow of air, direct leakages, and man tested. There are four classes of respirators. Class A type for dust, Class B type for lungs, Class C type is for mist, D type for dust, fumes, mist. The airline respirators is also given full protection if properly fitted, and no filtering is necessary. Such operators as spraying the filter pad is likely to quickly become coated and sealed over, rendering the filter type respirator almost impossible to breathe. Although now the lung protection, the sandblaster needs far more protection than a respirator, and under such conditions, the air-fed helmet is the answer. Care should be taken to see air supply is both adequate and reasonably clean. As to aid to the use of airline respirator and helmets, the air should be passed through the filter to remove both excess moisture and oil, and a planned setup and enforced by which the unit will be serviced stated intervals. Service भी जरूरी है. Now what next? Lung protection. Gas mask. Gas mask is composed of two distinct parts. First of face piece, which is designed for a comfortable fit to the contour of any face and consister through which the air to be breathed must pass. Care should be taken to ensure that the mask is provided with the specific type and consister for the hazards against which it is to be used. If there is the possibility of masks being needed for a variety of gases, then better plan would be obtained and all service masks, gas masks, but one very important point not to be overlooked is that no consister type gas mask will make up for deficiency of oxygen where such a condition is likely to be encountered. The air-fed mask is again necessary. Now we will discuss upon the full body protection. किस टाइप का पीपीज किस टाइप से वाई रिक्वायर्ड इसका ऊपर हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ बॉडी, फुल बॉडी. The first one is safety belt. Safety belt is or safety vest belt under some circumstances is almost as necessary for the protection of individual as the mask itself. It should not only sufficient strong to be taken full weight of the wearer, but also so designed that in the event the wearer is working inside a confined space, say tank or collapses for any reason, the attendant who should stationed outside can immediately commence to pull the safety rope either alone or with the help of others. Now the safety clothing. In selecting work clothing, consideration should first be given to the hazards to which the wearer may be exposed, and those types should be selected which will reduce the hazards to the minimum possible in each case. Okay, that is the requirement of the safety clothing. Yes, now for hands, which needs protection from frequently than any part of the body, we have gloves of various types, ranging from the rubber gloves for the work in acid, which is made with a kind of cuff, which effectively prevents the liquid from getting on the skin of the wearer. to the rubber glove designed with a special finish to prevent it becoming slimy when wet. Enable the wearer to maintain sure grip on the material being handled. Leather gloves with, a, with and without special reinforcement, either by the addition of extra thickness of leather or melting sketch, is also available for many varied operations carried out in the industry. Now what next? Aprons. Aprons we have. Aprons are necessary to make necessity of many operations. In the main, they are on to keep the wearer either clean or dry. Rubber, synthetic rubber or canvas being largely used to their manufacture. Leggings, workers exposed to hazards prevent in the handling of molten metals, hot or corrosive liquids, etc. should wear cheap fittings leggings made of suitable materials and types that can be removed instantly. कुछ pictures है related to safety issues, goggles, aprons, and other types of hand gloves, this type of. Yes, safety shoe जो हम लोग दिखाए, that is also very much important. Safety shoes can be obtained in a variety of styles and finishes from many sources, varying from dress shoes, enough work shoe, but all fitted with the inbuilt safety toe cap. Some made of fiber composition and either of steel. Okay, exposure दिया हुआ है, बाकी exposure रोक सकते हैं. Same here. One of type shoe, namely modern shoe designed with an elastic side, is mainly protection against hot metal burns and other sorts of things are noted over there. Kiss type shoes and what is the exposure. Yeah. Now, secondly, having obtained the desired protection, make sure that the person to whom is issued fully understand the reason and necessary of the protection, and the proper application and adjustment. That is very much important. पीपी देने से मतलब नहीं है, उसको यूजेस भी करना जानकारी चाहिए चाहिए. Thirdly, there is need to adequate supervision to ensure that the equipment is used and kept in proper adjustment and good condition at all times. Access to the industries for getting proper standards can be had from the Director General of Factory Advisory Service, Central Labour Institution, Ministry of Labour, Government of India, Mumbai, and from the India Standards Institution, which is established such standards. Chief inspectors of factories various states are also rendering assistance in this regard and can be requested for guidance and help. हम लिख सकते हैं. Another very important aspect is safety in basically confined spaces. Confined space, जहाँ पे confined space. Confined space refers to any space, including any vessel, tank, container, pit, pond, chamber, cellar, this type जो confined space में काम, वहाँ पे safety. The presence of reasonably foreseeable presence of flammable explosive atmospheres, harm gases, fume of vapor, free-flowing liquid, or an increasing level of liquid, excess of oxygen, excessively high temperature. These are merely hazards of the confined space. Yes. The hazards associated with confined spaces include toxic atmosphere. A toxic atmosphere may causes various acute effects, including impairment of judgment, unconsciousness, and health and death also. Oxygen deficiency, oxygen enrichment, then flammable or explosive atmospheres, flowing liquid or free-flowing solids, excessive heats. तो वहां पे एक्सपोजर वाइज दिया हुआ है किस टाइप का एक्सपोजर हो सकता है. Now, ways to improve safety of persons working in confined space, किस हिसाब से हम लोग कर सकते हैं improvement. A person shall not carry out work in confined spaces if it is not reasonably practical that it could be avoided. The work must be carried out at hazard identification and risk assessment must be carried out proper to the work commencing. A person shall not enter a confined space unless there is a system of work in place that been planned, organized, performed, and maintained so as to render the work safe and without risks of health. Anyone entering a confined space must be provided with appropriate information, training, instruction appropriate to particular characteristics of the proposed work activities. That to be confirmed. A person shall not enter a confined spaces unless suitable emergency arrangements have been made, which are appropriate to the confined space. Emergency arrangement shall include क्या-क्या हो गया है, क्या-क्या हम लोग को मेंटेन करना होगा emergency arrangements. Yes, now another vital topic is on first aid. First aid is the immediate treatment or care given to someone suffering from an injury or illness until further advanced care is assessed or the individual recovers. The aim of first aid are to preserve life, prevent illness or injury from becoming worse, relieve pain if possible, promote recovery, protect the unconsciousness. The provision of prompt and appropriate first aid can be reduced the severity of the injury or ill health, and the extreme cases would mean the difference between the life and death. That's why first aid is too much important. Now, safety solutions. Every workspace has a legal responsibility for ensuring adequate first aid provisions. Every industry must ensure that workers and anyone else in the workspace, including visitors, have access to appropriate first aid. Additionally, it must possess an adequate number of people who are trained to administer first aid. Depending on a few factors, the exact configuration of first aid equipment and the number of trained first aiders will vary. These factors include size of workforce, the location, and the risks associated with the nature of the work done there. Completing a risk assessment is important as will help determine the first aid requirements. This should include consultation with the workers and take their views into account. Involvement is too much required. Now, trained first aiders requirements. Having qualified first aiders in the workspace is vital in order to recognize as a first aider. The person needs to complete either a nationally accredited training course or equivalent training course that is given them the capabilities required to administer first aid. It is recommended, क्या recommend किया गया है, to have one first aider for every 25 workers in a high-risk workspace and one first aiders for every 50 workers in a low-risk workspace. However, if the workspace is shared with other business or is one of several tenants in a large building such as shopping center, there and other routes to follow. The example, instead of training own workers, the organization may be able to consult with other business operators and the building management to ensure that our workers have access to first aiders. First aid kits. With first aid kits, it is imperative that all workers have access to at least one in the workspace. Include in the first aid kit should be sufficient basic equipment for administrating first aid for injuries in order to know that contents are actually needed inside the first aid kit. A risk assessment of the workspace will be required. Because risk assessment करके तो पता चलेगा what type of actually first aid kit is or accessories required. First aid kits can be of any size or shape provided they are large enough to contain all the necessary items. They must be identifiable with a white cross on a green background and made of a material that will be protected from contents from dust, moisture, and contamination. Generally speaking, first aider is a person with a workspace should be nominated to maintain the first aid kit basically. Yes, now other first aid equipment and facilities. In addition to the first aid kits, it is important to consider if any other first aid equipment is necessary to treat injuries and illness that could occur in the workspace. That may include permanent or portable eye wash and shower equipment, first aid box or kits requirement, and automated deep vibrator where there is a risk of electrocution or large numbers of members of the public are regularly in or around the workspace. Moreover, a first aid room is recommended for high risk workspaces of more than 100 workers and low risk workspaces of more than 200 workers. That is the mainly requirement against the first aiders. First aid keys sample pictures as a requirement पॉज करके इसको देख सकते हैं. So that's all from today's session in a basic क्या क्या हम लोग डिस्कस किए जो हम लोग को अंडरस्टैंडिंग में हम लोग कोशिश किए. Now moving forward, for more understanding is required, you can visit our website too, and our mail IDs, phone numbers also in there. You can directly contact us for more details and such type of consultation. If video अच्छा लगता है तो please इसको सब्सक्राइब कीजिए for your better other opportunities to show any other videos, and like कीजिए for promotional purpose. So thank you all. Thanks for this discussion.